Who's your emergency contact? Who should notify in the case of death? Welcome to the USP, where I spent the last 2+ decades of my life. Let's get right into it. Continuing on from the last episode. A Crip comes out of the shoe. He gets put in cell with another Crip. But the Crip that came out of the shoe is from Texas. And they put him in a cell with a dude from California. Well, the California Crip tells Texas dude, hey man, this is a Crip cell. California Crip cell. You can't live in here. So you need to go ahead and find yourself another spot. So the Texas dude, when they call him move, goes out and hollers at his people. You know, because they classify them all Crips. But even with the Crip coalition, there's people from different gangs. Watts, Compton, 60s, 20s, neighborhood Crip, and all the rest. And yeah, they might have an alliance or a coalition in the penitentiary, but all these people at one time or another were enemies on the streets. At one time or another, they fought and they've killed each other and they have history. So a lot of times, even though you're all under the Crip umbrella, not all of them like each other. But they have a coalition. So when things happen outside of the car, where it's against another race or another gang, yeah, they come together and they ride together. But just like every other group, there's always in-house funk. So the Texas dude goes out and tells his people about, hey man, the California dude is telling me I can't live in that cell. So the Texas dude, they feel some type of way about it. And that evening, all the Crips went out there and they all had a little powwow to politic over the situation. You know, I'm in the indoor rec. They had 3 pool tables and a ping pong table. My friend B, he's from Kansas, Laosu from Kansas. You know, he's pretty good at ping pong. So he wanted to bet me that he can beat me, but I know I'm not better than him. So anyway, I tricked him to spot me 7 points, going to 21, and we bet a pair of shoes. And of course, I won. I got 7 points on him, you know. So he's gonna buy me a pair of shoes the next day or whatever. So, but while we're in there playing ping pong and stuff, you can see the yard is packed full of dudes. And these dudes are all Crips. So we already know that there's something brewing. And there's no secrets in the penitentiary, because everybody's got a buddy. And they share that with their buddy. And that buddy's got a buddy and so on and so forth. But a lot of times, the information is shared out of respect. You know, like when we have something that we got to deal with within our own car, I would let some people that I fuck with know, say, hey man, we're going to deal with a situation. So go ahead and get your care package together, you know, get your shower in, get whatever it is you need for a lockdown, because we got to go handle some stuff. Or we would tell you, we're going to be handling some stuff over here, so please let your people know not to be over there. You know, because the less people around to witness some, the better it is for the people that's going on the mission. And we all do that amongst the respected people that we associate with. So we already know that we can see that there's something brewing. And of course, somebody comes and share what the issue is with us, just to hip us up, like, hey, this stuff's about to blow up. You know, this California dude is not trying to let this Texas dude stay in the cell, so on and so forth. But anyway, nothing happens that night. And the word was in the morning that they squashed it, they mended, everything was cool. Well, we're coming back from commissary. I just got my brand new kicks on that my homie had to buy me from commissary. And we're just walking around the track, coming out of the chow hall. But as we're coming out of the chow hall, I see Pete. I don't know his last name or anything like that. I just know they call him Pete. But from my understanding, his status, he was like the spokesman or the shot caller, however you want to classify them, for the Texas Crips. And I see him and about 5 or 6 other of his homies. They're walking, but they're walking with an aggression behavior. You know, you can tell that they're on a mission, that there's something wrong. And as we walk by them, we hear like, man, I hear Pete telling the homies behind us, man, fuck that. We need to run up in that motherfucker and holler at them now. So I guess what would happen was after they had that conversation the night before and everybody agreed to some and they thought that the situation was settled, well, when the two Crip dudes, the Texas dude and the California dude, when they got back to their unit, the California dude told the Texas dudes like, hey, I don't give a fuck what those people's talking about. You're not living in here with me. So at breakfast, when the doors opened, the Texas dude went and told his people, hey, that dude's still trying to kick me out the cell. And he said, man, he don't give a fuck what we agreed about here. So that's what brought this thing about. So Pete, as he's walking, he tells his people, man, let's go up there and holler at them right now. They live in DB, the cell with the issue. Lives in a B, C, D, B upstairs. So the Texas Crip, P and them, run up there. And they run up there to go stab the California Crips up. So they ran up there 5 or 6 deep and started stabbing the California Crips up. Well, one of the dudes that was sitting at the table with the California Crip was a dude from Virginia. Now, when you go to war, when you make a move, you have to be precise. It's a scalpel, not a hammer. Because, you know, when you hit something with a hammer, it doesn't necessarily just damage the intended object. You leave cracks and whatnot. So they didn't do their homework, or even if they did, at the moment, they were just like, hey, that's the people right there at that table. That's who we're butchering. So they stabbed the California Crips up. But at the same time, they had a dude from Virginia. So somehow, some way, when all the chaos was going on, the Virginia dude was able to slip outside the unit and went and told his Virginia homie. Now, in the penitentiary, they have a coalition called the DMV. That's DC, Maryland, and Virginia. But it doesn't stop there. Like I tell you in a prior episode, everybody has alliances, everybody has friends, everybody has associates. And some of these relationships build to a point where they're willing to put their lives for each other. They're willing to ride for each other and back each other's play. So when the Virginia dude comes out and tells his homeboy, hey, the Texas dude just fucking hit me. I don't know exactly what else he told, how much detail he gets into it, but he said, hey, I just got stabbed up by the Texas dude. Now, once somebody gets stabbed up, once a knife is pulled out, there's no more conversation. There's no, oh man, you hit the wrong person and we need to, no. It's all just reaction. When the yard blows up, it's spontaneous. Because when people get a chance to politic about situation, they might be able to mediate it. But when people are acting on emotions and on action and reaction, because we understand that certain behavior can only be dealt a certain way. So these dudes fucked up and stabbed the wrong dude. There's no going to talk to him because shit is popping off right now. They're still up in the unit stabbing each other. So when the Virginia dude was able to slip out and inform his homeboys about what's going on, his homeboys turned around and they didn't care if this dude was a California Crip. I mean, not a Texas Crip or a Texas Blood. They just started hitting dudes that was from Texas. But again, everybody has alliance. When you're on the yard and you see a group of dudes hitting somebody that you fuck with, your natural instinct, if you's a gangster, if you's a man, if you's about it, is to go aid and assist. Well, the Texas dude have alliances with Florida, with I don't know who all their alliance, but they saw something, boom. They went and everything just started blowing up all throughout the yard. So I see this. I see that the Texas dude is just taking off on California dudes. The DC dudes is taking off on all Texas dude. And then a bunch of other dudes from Carolina, Florida. Like, it was just a big old clusterfuck. So now everybody that peeps the scene, they don't really know what's going on. I only know because I walked by Pete and heard the conversation, you know. So, but I got dudes that I fuck with that are from California. You know, the Bay Areas and the Blood and the Crip. And they're down there by 1B on the fence. Now, when all this shit is popping off in the yard, you see everybody grouping up. And now the guards, the COs, they're running up the stairs. They got us all on the ground. And it's raining. It's starting to rain. I got my new kicks on, and it's raining. And I'm just like, and you know, when the deuces go off, we're going to be stuck out on the yard for how many hours? But I'm not tripping on my shoes. Like, it's fucked up that it's getting wet. It's brand new. But I'm being, you know, my senses kicked in and I'm observing the situation. So I see the homies over there grouped up in the corner. That's from California. And there was a group of Texas dudes that was sitting down where I was at because, you know, the guards came in there with their guns and stuff, but they're still trying to, you know, take control of these little scrimmages that's popping off throughout the yard. But I hear the Texas dude talking about, man, fuck that. Man, that's the homie. And they're looking around, and I know what they're looking for. They're looking for victims. So in the intersection, when you come out of CA, you hit a right. And there's a gate right there that they can always close to cut off the yards. But right now, the gates ain't closed yet. So I slipped through to into the walk between A block and B block. And I tell my homeboy SP and Stan, they're from the Bay. You know, I don't know if they're from Oakland or Frisco. Might be both. Might be one's from that one or the other. But I tell him, I say, hey, homie, it's going off. This is Texas and California. And the DCs and all of them is involved over there because they can't really see, because they're over there by the building in the corner, so they can't really see what's going on over there. They just know there's a bunch of shit going on and there's gunshots and people get stabbing each other. But, so I go over there and tell the homies from California, hey, what's going on? And I say, hey, them Texas dude over there rallying up. And my homeboy grabbed me and said, man, let's go. Because, you know, I'm not going to insert myself in every politics. There's enough of the homies over there that can deal with whatever's they got coming. And they don't expect me to aid and assist in this situation. You know, I'm adamant about my relationships with the people I have. You know, I went and informed them. I was like, what's up? They're like, man, go ahead, man. We got this. So when I walk away, I walk past the Texas dude to go back to where my homeboy's at. The Texas dude slipped through the gate, went over there, and it popped off again. The whole yard, almost every black car got involved because everybody had an alliance. You know, when the COs come and they were able to contain this scrimmage over here, boom, another shit popped off over there. So they run over there to go handle whatever they're handling, then boom, another scrimmage pop off over here. You know, before it was over, everybody in the yard, including me, we were all zip tied, our feet and our hands all zip tied, right? So they closed the whole compound down. They come in, they put us on the fence, shake us down. And while you're shaking down, you can see everybody dumping their knives, kicking it down the road. You know, they're walking, everybody else scooting away from it. You know, because if you're standing there and there's a knife next to you, you're going to the shoe, right? So anyways, they lock all of us down. They were able to contain the unit, take back control of the prison. And we were locked down for, I don't know how long. We never opened back up. We never opened back up. But when they took all these dudes to the shoe, the Virginia dude that had first got stabbed by the Texas Crip, they took him back to the shoe. And they put him in a cell with 2 Texas dudes. They brought him to the cell, and the Virginia dude, you know, our politics is kind of fucked up because we can't deny a cell. We can't say, hey, I can't go in there, or hey, I'm beefing with this dude. You're just like, fuck it, this is what it is. When somebody brings me to a rec cage, it don't matter if they're white, Mexicans, black. When they bring me to that rec cage and they ask me, hey, can you go in there? I'm always going to say yes. Because if I tell them, no, I can't go in there, well, all them rec cage dudes, all them doing that rec cage and that other rec cage just heard, damn, Mason just ducked rec. He just told the police he can't be put in that rec cage. And then that's it for my reputation. It's tarnished. It's fucked up. But that's the way it is. So, and I've been tried, and people and the CEOs, they've been trying to put me in a trick bag because of my assault on staff. So when I go to the shoe, they know who I can and can't wreck with, but I can wreck with everybody. I've never denied a wreck cage, and I've been in wreck cage with skinheads with freaking Nazi signs on their face. I've been in there with the Serenos. I've been there with the TS, the MAs, the Crips, the Bloods. I wreck with everybody. And it's been cool because everybody, I've always got along with everybody, and I've always had respect from everybody and respect everybody else. So anyway, so the Virginia dude, he's stuck between a hard place and a rock. He can't tell the CO he can't go in there because then his homeboy's going to find out that he's ducking wreck. But he also knows if he goes in there, it's not going to turn out too well for him. So they threw him in the cell. And, you know, the Texas dude and him, they didn't just go at it as soon as the cuffs came off because, you know, they're G's. And they let the guard walk away to go do his round. Well, when the guard came back around an hour later, you know, because every hour they go and check each cell. When they came back an hour later, that Virginia dude was dead. You know, he survived the stabbing up in the unit, but the police ended up getting him killed. And here's the thing. The police, the SIS that work in the penitentiary, they know exactly who you are. They know exactly who you're affiliated with, who your gang is, what group you run with. They have that on record. When you come through R&D, when they do the interview, they already have it on file that you're a Crip, a Blood, a GD, a Vice Lord, a Skinhead, whatever the fuck you are, they already know. And they already know that the shit just popped off out there in the unit just hours ago between everybody. They threw this dude in this Virginia dude in the cell with 2 Texas dudes. And the story that we get later was one of them had him in a chokehold while the other dude was punishing him. And the chokehold is what killed him because it cut off the circulation, the blood from going to his brain. You know, if you ever watch UFC, MMA, when somebody put him in a chokehold, it only takes about 5 to 15 seconds to black out. That's why you always see him tapping out. Because once you black out, being choked out, you might get brain damage or you might not come back. And I don't know if them Texas dudes' intentions was to kill him or not. I'm not, you know, in their mind. But the end result, this dude should have never been thrown in that cell. And for that, he lost his life. You know, they think we're animals. So they treat us accordingly. But we're not. We have standards. There's certain behaviors we don't accept. There's certain behaviors we don't tolerate. We don't violate kids. We don't violate women. We don't tell on people. Welcome to the USP.